everybody, welcome to class today. I'm Miss Aker and we have a lot of fun stuff planned. Well, today we're going to start with our Brain Smart Start, and later we're going to be learning about the changing seasons. So I thought one thing that we can do is a sun breath. You know the sun is always there. It's there in spring, in summer, in fall, in winter. Sometimes it's really powerful and sometimes it's not as powerful. Sun breathing is going to wake up our bodies and it's also going to calm our minds. So let's do it. Start by making your arms like sun rays out to the side. And you can do this sitting or standing. So my arms are pointed down right now, and I'm going to take my sun rays and I'm going to raise them up to the sky. So imagine filling all the area around you with your strong sun rays, and then we're going to go back down and breathe out. Let's do it again. Imagine the sun is really strong. It's summertime and it's really strong, powerful sun rays. Breathe in. And now we're going to take them back down and breathe out. And now it's winter and they're not quite as strong in winter, but we can still feel their warmth. So let's warm up our bodies with that sun. Ready? Breathe in. Push your sun rays out to the side and up to the sky, and it's feeling strong and powerful just like you. Hold it and breathe out. That sun breathing got me ready for our reading circle today. Let's go see what we're going to learn. Welcome to today's reading circle. We're going to be learning about friendship today in this book called City Dog, Country Frog. In this book, they have a wonderful friendship that goes on the journey through the seasons: spring and summer, fall and winter. And as their friendship grows, they learn new things and they become really, really great friends. So let's see what happens with City Dog and Country Frog. Spring. City Dog didn't stop on that first day in the country. He ran as far and as fast as he could, and all without a leash. He's really excited. City Dog spotted something he had never seen sitting on a rock. It was Country Frog. "What are you doing?" asked City Dog. "Waiting for a friend," replied Country Frog with a smile. "But you'll do." City Dog and Country Frog played together. City Dog was new to the country, so Country Frog taught him Country Frog games. Country Frog's games involved jumping and splashing and croaking. Look at them in the water. That was spring. What comes next? Summer. City Dog didn't stop to admire the green, green grass. He ran straight for Country Frog's rock. "I'm going to do you a favor," said City Dog when he found Country Frog. "I am going to teach you City Dog games." City Dog's games involve sniffing and fetching and barking. He's throwing the stick. City Dog and Country Frog played until Country Frog was too tired to sniff and fetch and bark anymore. And that was summer. Next, fall. City Dog didn't stop to sniff the falling leaves. He ran straight for Country Frog's rock. Look at the changing colors of the leaves. "What shall we play today?" asked City Dog. "Dog or frog games?" Country Frog took a deep breath. "I am a tired frog," replied Country Frog. "Maybe we can play remembering games." City Dog and Country Frog sat together on the rock. Here they are. They remembered their spring, jumping and splashing and croaking. They remembered their summer, sniffing and fetching and barking. Do you see them in the clouds? They're imagining themselves. What a great friendship they've had. That was fall. Finally, winter. Look at those snow prints. City Dog didn't stop to eat the snow. He ran straight for Country Frog's rock. Look at all the trees. There's no leaves on the trees in winter. It's pretty cold places. City Dog looked for Country Frog. Country Frog was not there. And there's no words on this page, so we have to really read the picture. He's sitting all alone on that rock. Where could Country Frog be? That was winter. Spring again. Country Chipmunk spotted something she had never seen, sitting on a rock. It was City Dog. "What are you doing?" asked Country Chipmunk. "Waiting for a friend," replied City Dog, sadly. Then he smiled a froggy smile and said, "But you'll do." That was spring again. I think Country Chipmunk and City Dog are going to become good friends. That was a really beautiful story about friendship and how through life and through the changing seasons, things might change, but they can be good, bad, and back to good again. In this book, each season showed how the leaves might change, how there might be snow, how the sun comes up and there's green grass. And today, during our activity, we're going to be on the lookout for different images that represent each of the seasons. Let me show you what to do. So today, we're going to be finding different pictures that represent each of the seasons. And you'll need a grown-up to use a white crayon to draw different pictures that you're going to see when we paint with watercolors. So let me show you what to do. I have these very well-loved watercolors here. Look at them. I've had some kids that have really enjoyed painting with these, and some water. So get your paintbrush wet and choose a color, just one color. I'm gonna start with, let's see, green. So get it nice and wet so that you can get that color on your brush, and then gently go over this box here, and let's see what image we see and what season it might represent. I think I need some more paint. What do you see there? It's coming through. It looks like a flower. Do you see that flower? I see the center and then the petals. Need a little bit more. Okay. So let's let that dry a little bit while we try our next one. So this must be spring or summer because I know that I see lots of flowers blooming in the spring. Let's do this one. I'm gonna choose yellow. I'm gonna get that really wet there, get a lot of paint on my brush. Sometimes the paints get kind of mixed in together and that's okay. Okay, so I'm gonna gently try to figure out what season this picture might represent. What do you see there? This looks like it could be a sun. Well, I know that I can see the sun in all the seasons, but what season might a sun be represented by? I'm thinking that this might be summer. Cool. Let's go on to the next one. Okay. So we have spring and summer so far. Let's see, I'm gonna do orange for the next one. So like I said, you would have your grown-up draw with the white crayon, and then when you paint over it, you'll be able to see whatever they drew. What do you think this is? What does that look like? I'm gonna get a little more paint. You don't want it to be too wet that you can't see. I think that might be a pumpkin, and that might represent the season of fall. And finally, I'm gonna do the last box. What might represent the season of winter? What would you draw if you were representing the season of winter? Oh my goodness, I think it could be a snowflake or an icicle. Wow, that is really neat. So now we've discovered the 4 seasons: spring, summer, fall, and winter. Today we read a book about friendship that took us through the changing seasons. And then, with the help of our grown-ups, we painted with watercolors to discover pictures that represent each of the 4 seasons. We're in the season of winter right now, and I can't wait for you to join me next time so we can learn more about winter. Thanks!
Kindergarten is great at Kansas City Public Schools.
I know they have really good teachers. I know this is a great school.
They teach them stuff that I thought my kids would never be able to know at the age of 5.
Since deciding to send our kiddos to a neighborhood school, we've become even more of a part of our community.
Now is the time to enroll your future kindergartner for the new school year. Visit enrollkc.org today.
Good morning, friends, and welcome back. I'm Mrs. Gordon, and I am so glad you are here with me today to learn new things. Today, you are going to help me count. Did you know that numbers are all around us? And there is a lot of things that you can count on your own. Do you think you can help me today? Today, we are going to count things up to 10. So if you can, I would like for you to grab some objects. You can grab little Cheerios or grains or beads and come and help me count today. Are you ready? Let's get started. I'm going to use my number rods today. You think you can help me count to 10 using this material or even your own? Count with me. You have to start on your left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This rod is 10. Let's keep counting. This rod is little shorter. Can you count this one with me? Remember, you start with your left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is a rod of 9. We have 10 and 9. Let's count this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is a rod of 8. Let's count this rod together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is a rod of 7. Can you count 7? Let's count another one together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a rod of 6. You see how they're getting shorter? Let's keep counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 5. Let's count this one together. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Let's count this one together. 1, 2, 3. This is 3. 1, 2. I have one more. 1. Can you count up with me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I counted all of my rods. I need to put my number cards with them. We counted, but also we can match our numbers. So I'm going to spread all of my number cards out. Can you count with me again so we can match our numbers? Let's start with my longest rod, or whatever you have. Remember, we start with our left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is a rod of 10. Which one is number 10? This one is 10. I'm going to match it with this rod. Let's count the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Which one is number 9? This one is 9. I'm going to match it with my rod. Let's count the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This rod is 8. Where's my number 8? This one's 8. I'm going to match it here. Let's count the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Which one is number 7? This one is 7. Let's keep counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This rod is 6. Which one is my number 6? This one is 6. 6. We have a few more to count. Let's count this rod. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where's my number card of 5? This one is 5. 5. Let's count the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4. This rod is 4. Which one is number 4? This one is 4. Let's keep counting. 1, 2, 3. This number is 3. I'm going to match it. 1, 2. Here's my number 2. I will match it here. And then here's 1. Let's count up to 10 together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We counted to 10. Did you count up to 10? Look at all your objects or anything you have and see if you have 10. You did such great work today. I am so glad you were able to help me count up to 10. Wasn't those rods really cool to count with? If you can get something similar with blocks or Legos and lay them out like rods and build your own to count up to 10. Grab your nearest adult, count things today, count things all around you. And maybe next time we can go to bigger numbers. So count all your things and I wish you well.
Hello and welcome to Harold Holiday Montessori School. I am Principal Bass Barlow and I have the privilege of leading this fine public Montessori school. Holiday is an association of Montessori International School. As a member school, we adhere to rich Montessori principles and practices. Our teachers are Montessori trained, our assistants have Montessori certifications, and our students have uninterrupted work cycles. In their prepared environments, children have a freedom of choice where they develop order, repetition, and concentration. Here at Holiday, we serve children ages 3 to 12 in grades pre-K through 6th grade.
Welcome to the Children's House. In this environment, we have a mixed age group of children from the ages of 3 to 6. The prepared environment and the adult offer the children opportunities to reach their full potential.
In the Children's House environment, we focus on practical life, sensorial, math, language, and cultural activities. These activities are all developmentally appropriate for our children.
Welcome to Lower Elementary, where we educate students ages 6 through 9.
Here, we foster personal responsibility, independence, collaboration, critical thinking, as well as problem solving.
This is Upper Elementary, where we serve students grades 4 through 6 or ages 9 through 12. Students build on core values and lessons that they've learned previous years while becoming school leaders.
We partner with the Heartland Chamber of Music to offer String Sprouts. This program teaches our students instrumental music starting at the age of 3.
We work with our community partners to build leadership skills in real-world environments. One example of this is our composting initiative with KC Can Compost.
For visiting Holiday Montessori School. If you'd like more information about our fine Montessori program, please call 816-418-1950 and we'll schedule a one-on-one tour with you. We look forward to sharing with you more about the great things that are happening here at Harold Holiday Montessori School.
Hello, Kansas City. Welcome to another wonderful day out there. This is the show that we've been calling Life After, which is a show that features conversations with teachers and their students after high school has passed, to kind of jump into that story that we never really hear that much about after that connection kind of is over. During the pandemic and during some of the times when we were all stuck in our own homes and doing school that way, I started reaching out to a number of students. And so there's a lot of interviews out there if you look for them. And today we're joined by another fantastic person that I met at Paseo Academy, where I have had the luck to work a long time. So welcome Jacob Butler to Life After.
The pleasure to be here with a friend from high school. We were never my teacher, but a teacher in other ways. And I cherished the lunches we shared. It was a good time.
Very cool. Yeah, so Jacob and I had a chance to kind of unwind a little together and talk about music and, you know, do the lunch experience that is very fast when you're in a school setting. You know, it's hardly a lunch that people experience out in the different work world, but we got in our moments and we talked about music and things, and it's neat that you still remember and value that. So let's wind back. Generally, I start off these interviews asking you, what year did you graduate? And then really, what do you still remember the most about that year and that experience?
So I graduated in 2014. And what do I remember about that year and experience?
Kind of what stands out? What stayed with you over these 7 years the most, do you think, from being there, part of that class?
I would say part of me felt kind of like, not in a pretentious way, but a bit of an outsider. I wasn't like super close with most of my classmates. I am still good friends with Caitlin O'Reilly, who is a member of that class. But otherwise kind of haven't kept in touch. But I do kind of value the people that I was around, most of the people in my class. I mean, it's just like, I think high school brought out unfortunately a lot of darkness and understanding of parts of the world that are a little bit were not easy for me to digest and still hard to process. But I think that particular time in my life was very crazy. I was in a deep relationship with someone at the time. I was very much in love, and very much probably a little bit codependently so, and it ended in flames shortly after I graduated. And I was at an internship. I was a big stress head at the time, I think, and I mean, still am. But I didn't have many coping mechanisms that were healthy, and I think it was actually sadly quite a dark time around the time I graduated, and I felt pretty bitter. But that's everybody's journey is different, and I mean this not to be a downer on the school. It was just a lot of personal stuff I was dealing with, and
absolutely.
I remember I was very excited to be out finally, and I remember sleeping in a lot. But
gotcha.
No.
Okay, so that is kind of naturally the second question that we always explore here, and I remember it, which is why I go back to it to ask people about, is that moment where it's all over, at least in this first experience of what we call traditional education, and then there's a lot of decision making that goes on after that. So do you remember what process you took, or what it was really like? You said kind of to go through some of that searching, and then what did you decide to do?
So this is an excellent question, and it relates to a lot of things. I honestly, admittedly, I never attended any college. I have not yet, and I am not saying I'm still opposed to it, because I'm not necessarily, but that what I do know is where I was at then, and relating to some of what I said before, I know I was not ready for college. I know I was not, I felt very exhausted at that period of time in my life, and just in general, and high school was enough to process and go through for me at the time. And I also, I suppose, I was just not ready, and I think that one thing that I must admit, that I reluctantly admit, is that I do feel people kind of pressuring so hard for me to go to college was honestly a real detractor. It was like, it really made me kind of like get young and rebellious about it. It's like, no, I don't want your college. It's like stop shoving it down my throat and my face, and then maybe I'll consider it. But it felt very much like, almost like a guilt trip, and I did not appreciate that, and I still don't. But that doesn't mean necessarily that I don't wish things were different, and then maybe I kind of had my life been different in a lot of situations, then maybe it would have been great had I gone to college. But I also, again, don't regret not going either. Spending quite a bit of time on music after I graduated, and many late nights and things like that. So
Okay. So yeah, that's got us all wondering then. So you confirmed that college was not for right now. So what did your right now start to be? Did you get out there in the work world, take a job, start pushing through those day-to-day grinds, or had you been doing that all along?
So this is also an interesting question because through certain circumstances and situations and my style, work is a hard thing for me. And I don't just mean like I'm not a hard worker. I mean the workforce, the style, and dealing with often dealing with customers and the jobs that I can get as a not college person. It's a tough thing for me. I was as soon as I graduated, there was an internship I got through the school with Felix as well, who he will also be somebody you're interviewing or may have already.
Yeah,
and I know
we've talked.
Yeah,
Felix Small, right? Yeah.
I'm fond of him, but regardless of that, we were both at this internship, and I started working part-time after high school, and then it ended, and I kind of froze a bit. I didn't do anything for about 9 months, except my music and a lot of writing at the time, but I wasn't working, and then I worked at Waldo Pizza a couple times, which was not a lot of fun, and I worked at a video store from 2015 to 2016 at some point in those times. And
we still had video stores in 2015 and 2016. Wow.
Yeah, I could go in depth about it, but I will not. And it was an interesting experience, Video Mania.
Wow.
And after that, I got laid off, which was very discouraging as somebody who's kind of like doing cashier work and kind of nervous about it. But I'm happy to report that I am currently working at Michael's as a framer, doing framework in the back and doing a little bit of transactions, but not a lot, but getting better at that. And there's different than most cashier positions, the stuff you do on the computer and write out is actually quite a bit more intricate. But I'm at a place in my life where, for one, Michael's is not it's not like there's 100 people in line getting frames. It's cut a person or two at a time. It's slower, and I can be more mindful in that moment, and I can make all the decisions, and we can talk about it, and they're patient with me. So that is good that I'm finally, I almost kind of never wanted to do cashiering again when I got laid off because it was quite a discouraging experience. But honestly, it could very well not be related to my cashier work. It's just hard to say. It just was what it was.
Well,
and I was
great.
Before this, I was a sacker for 3 years at the Constantino's Market in Brookside. That as well was not necessarily an enjoyable experience, however, extremely important in learning to read people, to be kind of like, in a lot of ways, I was about 22 when I started sacking, and up until about 25, and I learned so much about dealing with people and interacting with people and not pushing weird boundaries or saying the strange things. And, it's like a lot of that was hard. A lot of that was unpleasant. A lot of it was devastating, but it was important. It was very important.
Very cool. And so, okay, let's explore, because I know some things about what you say. You're exploring music and this and that. I know you do a lot of that on social media. And you have, I don't even know how to really explain it, but you basically have found a way to replicate some of the best riffs maybe that exist on keyboard in history, and then kind of have them in green screen behind you and kind of have this whole theatrical production now that I can remember started much smaller scale or with less elements to it. So it's fun to ask somebody about their artistry, because I know that's where you're really coming to life and you're being 100% you, I can tell. Yeah. What are you trying to accomplish with that, or what's going on there, I guess?
So I know no matter what time in my life over the last 10 years, darkest to lightest, music has been my closest associate and friend, and I need it. I guess a lot of these riffs and videos are parts of songs that have moved me to tears or have just made me feel alive or exhilarated. These are, I am a feeling person. It is my strongest trait, and it is also debilitating at times, but I also know that it's hugely important to making me who I am, and to helping me be a good artist, to be in touch with my feelings and to be in touch with melodies that make me feel and make other people feel. So these videos have been a way of kind of like letting off steam and feeling good. And I mean, it's just been a constantly positive experience. And what I'd like to note is that I am now starting a new chapter. I have released 3 videos now of songs that I'm doing on my own. They're my full tracks. I do not know how to record or produce properly yet, but these are the best I can do for the time being. And I'm like, hey, I will take a moment of ego to say, with the videos that you're talking about of songs I've recreated moments of, I have been acknowledged by the keyboard player of Journey. I have been acknowledged by M83, and I have been acknowledged by local natives and Phoenix. And at that point, as ego as that all sounds, that is actually just extremely motivating. And to go, hey, if I can impress these people with song or moments of song, like, I need to really, it's a good turning point now to just start my best to at least put out more of what I'm working on that takes influence from all of these things. Yeah. And express I mean, these are the realest feelings because they're what I create. They're what naturally has come out, you know, not from music theory or anything. I started messing with keyboards just over a decade ago, and about 8 years ago it got serious. It's like I'm at least trying to spend an hour a day messing with them. And I'm not Steve Vai. I don't spend 4 hours necessarily. But I'll try. I'd like to get there. And
no, I truly understand. I have the same situation. I play around a lot and still do, and find that's the only way I kind of unwind or process things, or things coming shooting out of your fingers, right? Just all these emotions that you didn't really even know you could produce. And then, there's some really cool studies going on about the electronic age, and just watched a great documentary. Mark Ronson, it's called Watch the Sound. If you haven't heard of this show, you would just love every bit of it. Every episode's about another electronic device that revolutionized the music industry. And so, all right, well, hey, pitch us forward a little bit. What are some of your future thoughts about what you're going to do down the road? Are you setting up any goals formally for yourself, or are you staying with kind of see where it goes?
I think I'm staying and seeing where it goes. I'm going to keep trying to put out as much of my own material on social media, videos of my own work a lot more. I might do a couple more here and there videos of parts of songs I like specifically, but you know, I've been, some of these albums that I'm working on are going on 2 to 3 years of being songs that are like kind of established, and they keep getting expanded on. And I'm glad it's given me time to expand what they are. But the last couple videos are all, you know, 5th renditions of these songs coming through a lot of time spent with them. And they all mean a lot to me. It's not filler, you know, it's all very stuff cool. That like is, you know.
Very cool. Well, I can remember a lot of these similar interests from our conversations during lunchtime. And I will say they were important to me too. I've heard you mention they were introductions to various artists and things that I could share with you, like Spiral and Vangelis. And I loved that story that I got to share when I really did take that to my 3rd grade class, when we were just bringing our favorite music from home, and people looked at me like I was just totally insane. And so I think our conversations were fun, so many years apart, but yet so many things in common. So let's do this. A final question usually in these episodes, and thank you for being here so much. I hope Kansas City, you're listening and ready to find some of Jacob Butler's work out there. What advice do you think you needed to hear back then? Or what advice do you think young people need to hear now that's kind of, you know, brewing to the top as something you might think would be wisdom that was useful for yourself, or wisdom you might think would be useful to share Because I know as I'm coming out of the world back then, I really did look and turn to the voices of others, some of just what exactly should I carry as I go out into this world, or what should my mantra be, or how should I start to kind of govern my thinking. And I've heard you say a lot of smart stuff in that category of thought. So that's kind of our final question. What would you suggest?
Oh, that's so. It's a great question, and it's a big one, and it's heavy, and it's not a simple one to answer for me. Be a couple things, I think. Most specifically, like, I remember for me, if I wanted to say to me, I'd say, I kind of want to say, don't slow down, but I also know that I kind of needed some time. And I think this all goes back to learning compassion for yourself. Sometimes it's so easy in dark spaces to kind of like cave and feel guilty for not being where you'd like to be. And I mean, I can speak now. I am, 7 years graduated, and I am still living with my parents. And I know how that can look really rough for some people, but I know it's life is complicated and it's not simple. And just compassion is literally so much the answer to so many problems in our world, and removing shame and guilt so much is huge. It's like, it's very complicated to have a one word phrase or answer of how to
Yeah, no, I understand.
But yeah, compassion. That's just find compassion. Don't tolerate lack of compassion. I think one of my greatest detractors was a very toxic friend who did not have compassion in his life that I followed loyally, and it sent me down years of trouble. And I don't fault myself, because the world's complicated, and I was unintentionally groomed into this kind of thing like this. Yeah. But yeah, just find compassion.
Very cool. All right, well, you've heard it here, Kansas City, and the unconventional wisdom of Jacob Butler. Maybe that could be like one of your things you're right as you go down the road. But I album cover, I don't know, the unconventional wisdom of Jacob Butler. It sounds pretty good. It's kind of like Miseducational Lauryn Hill, just a whole lot different, right? So thank you. Thank you for being here, Jacob, and I appreciate the time. Thank you, Kansas City, for tuning in. If you've enjoyed Life After KCPS, or actually just what we call Life After these days, please reach out and find me on the internet. At codom at kcpublicschools.org would be a good way to reach me, and we could talk about having you come on as a guest and tell your narrative. So thanks, sir. I know every voice that comes on here serves as another possible person for someone else to connect with. And I guarantee there are people listening and will be listening. They'll certainly connect with your message and understand where you're coming from. So appreciate you so much. We're signing off for today on Life After. Thanks, everybody.
Welcome to Foreign Language Academy, Kansas City one and only emerging school for Chinese and Spanish.
We are so happy to have you visit FLA. I'm Dr. Joel Ramsdale, the principal of Foreign Language Academy. We are the region's only international baccalaureate school that is authorized as a primary years program, as well as being in candidacy for our middle years program. We look forward to sharing more about our school with you.
Bienvenidos al cuarto grado. Immersion is the best way for a student to become fluent in a foreign language.
At FLA, we have a strong sense of community. Our parent-teacher organization meets monthly and organizes different events and activities such as Arts Night, where students can showcase their artwork and also enjoy live performances by students.
Each year, the 8th grade Spanish student fundraise to help support a trip to Costa Rica.
Children at FLA have an advantage, learning English as well as a foreign language. This will prepare them for not only being in the classroom, but beyond.
When our families join FLA, they select a school for their kids that is elementary and middle school. Our students are able to experience the full immersion program since kindergarten all the way to 8th grade.
Thank you for joining us on this virtual tour. We appreciate it. If you would like to learn more about Foreign Language Academy or schedule a personal tour, please call our school phone number, which is 816-418-6000. We look forward to sharing all of the great things that we're doing here at the Foreign Language Academy with you.
I am Lincoln Middle.
At Lincoln Middle School, students discover their talents and passions, where teachers plant the seeds of lifelong learning.
I am Lincoln Middle.
Where excellence is nurtured. Students develop the skills to be successful in school, career, and beyond.
Je suis Lincoln Middle.
Lincoln Middle is the public school where your child will thrive and grow. Open a world of possibilities. Apply today. Learn more at enrollkc.org/Lincoln Middle.
Hello, we're happy to have you visit Carver. We are a dual language school where our students become truly bilingual and biliterate.
Welcome to Carver Dual Language.
Hola, bienvenido al primer grado en Carver.
Welcome to first grade in Carver. In kindergarten and first grade, all students learn to read and write in Spanish.
Welcome to 4th grade at Carver. In 4th grade, our students have the opportunity to join our robotics team. Our students work together on a community project and learn to code a robot's movements.
By 6th grade, Carver students are truly bilingual and biliterate. Students can fluently speak, read, and write in both Spanish and English. Carver students move on to much success in middle school, high school, and beyond.
We celebrate Hispanic heritage throughout the year at Carver Dual Language. Each year, students develop a plan to make goods to develop and to sell at our Mercado. This is our annual fall market that classes have booths that students come together and sell their items that they've created. Staff, community members, family, parents, grandparents, all can come together, buy the goods, and celebrate Hispanic heritage together.
In Carver, we have an involved PTA where parents and families can be part of our school community.
Thank you for joining us on this tour. If you would like to schedule a personal tour or learn more about our school, please call 816-418-4925.